In his first public appearance since Friday's debate, Beto O'Rourke brought his bid for governor to UNT.
And there's a new man at the helm of the Denton Police Department.
October is here, and so is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Stay tuned to learn more.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Sydney Deshawn.
And I'm Maddie Myers. The race for governor of Texas came home to UNT this morning. Democratic hopeful Beto O'Rourke made 2 campaign stops today, both on college campuses. ntTV's Andrea Valdez was there and has the story. Andy?
Thanks, guys. Well, this morning, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke made a quick campaign stop at the university's Gateway Center, and the room was full wall to wall with students who gathered to listen to the message of his campaign. Now, this was part of his Students for Beto tour, where O'Rourke will travel to universities and junior colleges across the state.
We're going everywhere to be with everyone in every part of the state, and very soon I'll be back in my hometown at the University of Texas at El Paso. As I just told Jack, I believe that young people will decide the outcome of this election.
Now, we also spoke to students today after the event who were lined up ready to meet the candidate, and many of them explained how they resonated with many of the points that he discussed today as future educators, first-time voters, and students passionate about the future of the Lone Star State.
There's a couple of times that I wanted to cry because I'm an education major, so hearing about the Uvalde students again, it was really impactful for me just because I want to be an educator, and hearing about children is just wow.
Now, we will continue to keep you updated on the gubernatorial issues leading up to the November 8 election. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Andy. The election is just over 4 weeks away. Voting day is November 8th, but early voting begins October 24th. O'Rourke continues to trail Republican Governor Greg Abbott by about 7 percentage points. The two men faced off in a televised debate last Friday night, but the issues and the impact of that encounter seem to have had only a small effect on voters. The question will be whether O'Rourke can energize his base off younger voters to actually go to the polls in the coming weeks. ntTV will provide live coverage on election night beginning at 7 p.m.
Well, Sydney, if I end up waiting in election lines, I just hope the weather is as nice as it is today.
I agree, Maddie. I'm so ready for the low temperatures, but I'm not sure when we will be seeing them. Let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Ryan Cantrell, to see when it will be cool. Ryan?
We've got some pretty mild temperatures here today in Denton, but we will be seeing some colder temperatures later this week. However, I will talk about that in our 7-day forecast and my full weather forecast. Currently in Denton, we have 68 degrees with an actual air temperature. Our heat index will be 69 degrees and southeasterly winds at 5 miles per hour. On to tonight, we'll see those clear skies remain, and temperatures will dip to 82 degrees with an actual temperature of 80 degrees. Now, on to tomorrow, we'll have 76 degrees air temperature and a heat index of 76 degrees, unchanged winds, and those clear skies return yet again. That's all I have for my first look weather forecast. Stick around as I talk about next week's cold front in my full weather forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. Tonight, the impact of Hurricane Ian continues to grow. The death toll now stands at over 100. Search and rescue teams have been deployed to some of the hardest hit areas in Florida, especially Fort Myers. Gloria Pazmino is in Florida with the latest.
Days after Hurricane Ian tore through Florida, crews remain in active search and rescue.
We are working hard to try and safely get you out. So once we get through this stage, then we can work on rebuilding.
More than 1,600 people have been rescued from Ian's wake so far, according to Florida's governor. Ian made landfall as a Category 4 storm last Wednesday, decimating coastal towns, flooding inland cities, and completely cutting off island communities.
There's nothing left. I don't know. I am optimistic. It's heartbreaking for all those families, for all those businesses. That's why I'm very sad.
Floridians now face the daunting task of rebuilding as they return to unrecognizable cities and towns.
It does add to the complexity of the process. It's been hard to get things here with I-75 shut down. That's been an issue, and the 62% of our population that's over 65 is a problem. And that problem means they need a lot more care and assistance.
Power outages are also hindering recovery efforts. Florida Power and Light says they are working around the clock, aiming to have electricity restored to most by the end of the week.
Filled with sand, debris, patio furniture that ended up in the electrical vault. And this is some of the challenges that our crews have in actually restoring power.
In Fort Myers Beach, Florida, I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
As search and rescue teams continue their work in Florida, President and Mrs. Biden arrived in Puerto Rico to survey the storm damage of Hurricane Fiona. There, they met with residents and officials. Fiona struck Puerto Rico 2 weeks ago, and although recovery efforts are already underway, 200,000 remain without power. Biden says he will remain focused on the recovery of the island as well as the devastation from Hurricane Ian in Florida. The president will be visiting Florida later this week, where the level of destruction is still being determined.
Coming up, a TikTok trend inspires thieves across the nation.
And later tonight, we'll explain why Greek life is more than just a label. Stay with us.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
Are you feeling okay?
No, I've been feeling gross all week.
Maybe you should go get a COVID test.
But I already have all 3 of my shots.
Yeah, but you can still get it. I mean, maybe you should go get one just in case.
Yeah, you're right. We have that party and all.
Yeah.
Why do we even get tested here?
Let me check.
You can find free COVID testing sites at the University Union, room 381 on weekdays, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and on weekends, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and at Chestnut Hall, room 120 from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. You have to show the QR code given to you when you arrive for an appointment. Tests take no longer than 10 minutes to complete. Results will be sent through text or email within the next 48 hours.
I got a negative COVID test. Me too. Oh my god, let's go to the party. Yeah. Let's go.
After 30 years of service in Missouri and Colorado, Chief Doug Shoemaker was introduced this morning as the new head of the Denton Police Department. Shoemaker understands that change is hard, but says that the service from the DPD will not waver.
I know what it's like to have a new chief. It's a time of uncertainty because you have this sense of comfort and understanding of how things are done, and then someone new comes in and everyone wonders from that point how it's going to go. It's our job to ensure that we provide the best possible services to those in need when they are at their greatest time of need.
Looking forward, Chief Shoemaker wants to keep the same successful atmosphere within the department.
It's evident that things are moving in the right direction here, and it's my full intent to keep us on that path and then work through the challenges and opportunities that face us moving forward.
After a lengthy nationwide search and many in-depth interviews, Shoemaker was chosen from a pool of over 30 candidates. Catalytic converter theft has affected many Americans, including students here at UNT.
Now, I definitely don't want my converter to go missing, so let's take it to Kyle on why catalytic converters have risen in popularity among thieves in North Texas.
Thanks, ladies. Catalytic converter theft has been on the rise, with Texas having the second highest number of insurance claims in the country, right behind California. This device is found underneath most vehicles as part of the exhaust system that is meant to reduce 90% of harmful gas emissions and improve the overall health and performance of the vehicle. The most popular vehicles for thieves are the Toyota Tacoma and the Toyota Tundra due to the truck's high ground clearance and accessibility. The Tundra recently surpassed the Tacoma in popularity since the vehicle comes standard with 2 catalytic converters. Highly valuable metals such as platinum, palladium, and rhodium found in a single catalytic converter can be exchanged for over $1,500. If possible, police recommend parking your vehicles in well-lit areas near security cameras or within locked garages. Catalytic converter theft isn't the only problem facing drivers. In fact, a new trend called the Kia Boys has caused even more issues for drivers. Annabelle Areza has more. Annabelle?
Thanks, Kyle. Since 2021, there's been a large increase in Kia and Hyundai car thefts across the country due to a viral trend on TikTok. The theft skyrocketed by more than 300% within many major U.S. cities. The trend demonstrates to viewers how to start any 2011 through 2021 Kias and 2015 through 2021 Hyundais without needing the keys. Lawsuits have been filed in 8 different states due to the numerous break-ins. Now, Hyundai sent out a statement to owners to help prevent their vehicles from being the next target. They will continue to support their local police departments when providing locks to ensure safety. However, Kia did not respond immediately to the events, and their only statement just included resources for lock devices and a promise that the future models will not have the same problem. If you believe that your car is the next target, please reach out to your local police department. Now, Sydney and Maddie, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Annabelle. It seems like fraud is also on the rise in the online payment business. Now, if you use or have Zelle, you might want to listen up, as there are increasing fraud and scams with the service. U.S. banks report an estimated $400 million losses by users last year. However, one banking industry organization says Zelle's rivals like Venmo and Cash App receive more of reports of these disputed transactions. An investigation into the entire situation is underway.
Maddie, I see you have on your long dress today.
Yes, Sydney, I do. It was so cool walking to the studio this morning. I even heard we might be getting a cold front this week. Our weather anchor, Ryan Cantrell, can tell us more. Ryan?
Well, guys, we are experiencing some pretty cold conditions thanks to some dry air and some high pressure above the area. But take a look behind me. We have the UNT Tower with a beautiful sky behind us, not a cloud in the sky. There is an air quality alert with ozone, but that should go away as the temperature drops tonight. Now, looking at our North Texas map, we're seeing temperatures mainly in the middle 80s, like we have Dallas and Fort Worth at 83, 82 here in Denton, 83 in Sherman, and 85 out there in Graham. Across the state of Texas, we're not actually seeing much of a difference, mostly in those mid-80s. Amarillo's actually up there in 78, Austin's at 85, Houston is at 82, Shreveport at 82 as well, and finally El Paso at 82 as well again. Now onto our 7-day forecast. Clear skies up ahead until Wednesday with mostly highs in the high 80s. We do see 90. I am hoping it will not go up to the 90s. I don't want any more 90s. However, Thursday, Friday, we'll start to see some partly cloudy skies. I am putting 10% chance of rain for Thursday because that is when the cold front will start to come in and create possibly some instability. I don't think there'll be enough moisture, and unfortunately, I don't think there'll be rain, but there's a chance. We'll also see some partly cloudy skies on Friday and a 78-degree high. Now, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to get those sunny skies return again. That's all I have in my full weather forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. Up next, what we've learned and what you need to know as we enter Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
And as temperatures drop, Christmas tree prices are on the rise. We'll explain what this means for you tonight.
Near Sanctus Spiritus.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Hey, Maddie, miss me?
Wait, Bud?
What was that all about?
An old friend.
An old friend?
Good to see you, brother. What the hell are you doing?
That's your lucky day.
Imagine it's ice cream day at the office. And everyone from the day before voted for their favorite flavor. Everyone but you. You decided not to vote. The flavor they picked isn't the one that you wanted. But can you really complain? Shh! Now imagine that with an elected official.
Choose not to vote, choose not to be heard. Get registered today.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
It's officially October and the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Over 2 million people suffer from breast cancer each year, so it's important to stay informed about symptoms and preventative measures. Crystal Prentice joins us with more information.
Breast cancer is the most common cancer in the U.S. It occurs when abnormal cells grow out of control in one or both breasts. Although there isn't an exact cause of the disease, there are some factors that can increase your risk. These factors include aging, alcohol, and a family history of breast cancer. You can lower your risk by having a healthier lifestyle and regular breast exams. These tests are called mammograms and are needed yearly for women over 40. The first sign of breast cancer is a painless lump, but advanced symptoms include a thickening in the armpit or breast, a change in the size or shape of the breast, a change in the nipples such as scaling of the skin or areola, and a green or bloody fluid that comes from the nipple. That's all I have for today. Now back to you, Sydney, at the desk.
Thanks, Crystal. Sororities and fraternities can be viewed as a fun way to come together, but what happens when hazing is involved? I got the chance to talk to Greek life advisors and members to see how they are combating this issue and breaking the common stereotype.
You know, we don't tolerate it.
Greek life has a dangerous history across the world.
We see acts of hazing pop up in fraternities and sororities, in athletic clubs, in the band.
However, UNT is different than other campuses.
A lot of those stereotypes typically come from Power 5 schools, you know, the SEC schools or Big 12, things like that. That's not who UNT is. You know, we're a diverse group of people on campus, and at the end of the day, don't give in to the things you hear.
UNT sororities and fraternities break stereotypes by making sure all students feel comfortable.
We make sure all of our current members know, do not haze the new members. Obviously, you wouldn't have wanted that to happen to you whenever you were a new member. And with our new members that we have, just telling them you don't ever have to silence yourself if you feel uncomfortable.
Just last week was Anti-Hazing Week, a yearly event that UNT participates in to take a forward stance against the act of hazing.
UNT has certainly taken a forward and positive stance towards eradicating that. When we find out about it, it's addressed immediately, and we have even had chapters removed from campus because of that behavior.
UNT is continuing to make sure every student feels safe. To learn more about hazing and how to report it, students and parents can visit the UNT Student Affairs website. UNT is committed to providing a safe environment for all members and prohibits hazing by any student, student group, or employee.
Sydney, did you get a chance to watch the Cowboys game yesterday? I'm so impressed with how we've been doing.
I did, Maddie. With Dak being out, I was a little nervous, but Cooper Rush has been fantastic all around. Our sports anchor, Brandon Brumworth, can tell us more about the game and what we can expect this upcoming week. Brandon?
Thanks, ladies. I'll be talking about the U.S. women's basketball team, the Cowboys winning their third straight, Judge making history, and touch on the disturbing injury that rocked the NFL last Thursday. That's all next, right after the break.
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up all night? Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA?
Sleep?
Yeah, go to bed.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
Oh hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
The U.S. women's basketball team defeated China to take their fourth straight gold medal Saturday in the Women's World Cup final. The team was led by A'ja Wilson, who scored 19, and Kelsey Plum added 17 of her own to help topple China 83-61. Wilson, Plum, and Chelsea Gray become part of just 14 women to win a gold medal and a WNBA title in the same year. The U.S. team also honored Brittany Grenier, who is still being held in a Russian prison by not having anyone wear her number 15 on the roster. Aaron Judge hit his 61st home run of the season, tying Roger Maris for the most in American League history. Judge will have 4 more games in Texas to try and set a record of his own by hitting 62 home runs, which would be good for most in American League history. For a league that has plenty of controversy surrounding it at any given time, Thursday was a new low point for the NFL. Tua Tagovailoa suffered what looked to be a concussion last Sunday against the Bills, but returned to the game after the team declared he passed the concussion protocols and instead had an apparent back injury. As the week went on, many doubted the Dolphins' claim that Tua had a back injury, with the replay showing Tua having classic signs of a head injury. With the Dolphins playing just 4 days later on Thursday Night Football, many speculated that the right precautions were not being taken. Then, Thursday, the worst happened, as Tua suffered a serious concussion that left him being carted off the field. Since then, the consultant who cleared Tua has been terminated. This is such a disgrace to the NFL and everything they claim to care pertaining to player safety. There is a chance that Tua could have long-term damage from this, and until it's actually proven that the NFL will take serious measures to prevent incidents like this, another Tua accident feels inevitable. On lighter news, Cooper Rush and the Cowboys continued their win streak as they defeated the Washington Commanders 25-10. The defense continued their early season dominance with 2 interceptions and a couple sacks to go along with it. Rush threw for 217 yards and 2 touchdowns and looks to keep up this momentum next week against the Rams in a pivotal NFC matchup. Not only was it a great weekend for the Cowboys, it was a great weekend for your Mean Green football team, who beat FAU 45-28. Here at North Texas, it was family weekend, and the school provided bounce houses for kids and other festivities. Unfortunately, that was not enough to bring in a larger crowd. ntTV's Alec Rapp talked to students across campus. Here's what they had to say.
There's nothing quite like the atmosphere of college football in the state of Texas. And on Saturday, normally, these seats would be filled. However, in recent years, the university has struggled to get its student population out to games. I had the opportunity to go across campus and talk to different students and figure out what the school needs to do to encourage them to come to games.
That website, it's terrible. I remember when I was a freshman, I've probably been to 1 game in my entire career. I'm a senior right now. And I've done that ticket thing 1 time. The process it makes no sense. It's super confusing. They barely even tell you where to go.
Get the tickets, because people still don't know how to get the tickets. So if it was more advertising and more instructions, I think more people would show up.
I decided to go through the process of getting a student ticket myself and found that the website took a long time to load and could be seen as confusing.
But I think if they made it more of an event, like if they had some free stuff.
Yeah, I would say more giveaways, a lot of stuff when they give away free stuff.
Advertise those tailgates as a big party. I mean, you gotta remember, we like to party here as well. So I don't ever see advertisements for tailgates as often as I should. Make it more inclusive, make these people feel more welcome.
There are a few things that college students love more than free stuff and a good time. If the university wants students to show up to events, they want to be incentivized. For ntTV News, I'm Alec Rapp.
Thanks for that, Alec. I hope to see a larger crowd this Saturday against Louisiana Tech. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Brandon.
Good grief, Charlie Brown. It's not even Halloween yet, and Christmas tree prices are already going up. Christmas tree farms say people can expect to pay more for their perfect tree this year. A survey of 55 wholesale Christmas tree growers found that 71% expect to raise their prices. The growers account for about 2/3 of the nationwide supply.
Many of them plan to charge retailers 5 to 15% more, with some even saying their trees will be 20% more. Tree farms don't expect shortages because this year's harvest does look great, but they say operating costs have gone up over the last year. That includes everything from labor and raw materials to shipping trees to retailers.
Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.